So if we think about, and notice where they are, we're not going to change anything about them, we're just going to notice them. So ideally, we're looking for our head to be on the floor in a position where we can see straight up towards the ceiling and we're not looking over the top. But don't change anything. If you're in a different position just now, that's okay. We'd like to have our shoulders, the actual shoulder bit here, slightly elevated off the floor, but the back of our rib cage, the back of our shoulder blades are on the floor. The back of our rib cage is on the floor. That's ideal, but you know, we're all a work in progress. You want to have the lower lumbar spine just underneath your belly button is off, so that's a space rather than being a mass. Your neck as well, you want to have your neck as a space. You don't want to feel like it's any tension in it, it's just chilling there. And then we want to have your pelvis again as a mass, so we want to feel it like it's a mass on the floor. And we want to feel where we are in the mass. Are we right at the back of the mass, so our lower back's coming to the floor? Are we right at the front of the mass? Where are we? Are we weighted one side more than the other? And then we're going to come down to our legs, and we want to feel where our legs are. So are the tops of our thighs touching the floor, or are they off the floor? You know, is there a space underneath our knees, or is it a mass? Mine are a bit of a mass today. My body's clearly not very lengthened out. Then our calves, we want to feel where they are, and our ankles, and then our heels and our feet. Perfect. So that's the first part of our journey. And you're just going to close your eyes and just connect in and see how that feels for your body right now. Good. Then we're going to come to sitting. And we're going to start with our release for our tongue and for our eyes. So we want to really, by releasing our tongue, we release our neck, and by releasing our eyes, we hopefully release our neck as well. So the first thing we're going to do, and most of you have done this exercise with me before, but we're going to go through it. We're going to stick our tongue right out in front of us. Then we're going to take it over to one side, keeping our face pointing straight ahead. So looking straight ahead towards your screen. And you're going to move your tongue up and down about 7 times on one side. Then you're going to bring it back to the front and stick it out, and bring it all the way over to the other side and look up and down about 7 times. And then we're going to come back to the front. Okay, so stick your tongue out. And so remember, while you're doing this, I'll explain why you're doing it. Remember that your tongue has this connection all the way down to your big toe. So we're not just releasing your neck, we're also releasing that whole fascia chain. And then once you've done 7 times, really reach it out to the front and then over to the other side. And then release it back in. Is that you need tissues or something? Good. Once you've done your 7. Hi, Jim. Then we're going to look over our shoulder and just notice what you notice. And then you're going to take your eyes and look a little bit further. So as you move your eyes around, so you're going to take your neck round as far as you think it can go, feel how it feels, and then use your eyes to go a little bit further. And then we're going to come back to the front and repeat on the other side. Same thing. Head round, then look with your eyes, and then come back to the front. I'm going to do that one more time on each side. So look round, just breathing nice and regularly while you do this. Don't hold your breath. And look round, and back to the front, and the same the other way, and back to the front. Then we're going to grab our ball and we're going to come to standing. So these are all a mixture of exercises taken from all over the place in my trainings. So this one is to help release the last one was from Feldenkrais. This one is from Eric Franklin. So we're going to take our ball, and we're just going to take one first, then we can do it with 2 if you've got 2, once we've learned it with 1 first. We're going to put the ball underneath our armpit. Good. And just holding it there, and just feel it there for a moment. There's tons of nerves and things that go on in here. And yeah, it can get really loads of tension. Then we're just going to roll our shoulder slowly up and round, holding the ball in place as we do it. Nice, simple, just really a big round circle. We're going to do one direction about 5-6 times and then go the other way. Good. Nice. And just being aware of how your armpit feels, what's moving in your shoulder. Good. Once you've done 5 in each direction, then what we're going to do is we're going to lift our shoulder up on an inhale. So we're going to inhale up. Then as we exhale, we're going to slowly exhale and slowly allow the shoulder to come down as if it's gliding down towards your pelvis. Feel the muscles lengthening. Inhale up. And slowly glide it down. And up. It's harder with the jump Annabelle. And slowly down. And one more up. And just allow you really feeling like the shoulder blade is sliding, the armpit is sliding, all the muscles are lengthening down towards the pelvis. And then we're going to swap and do the other side. And then we can do both at the same time if you've got a ball, or we can repeat. It's entirely up to you. So holding the ball underneath. How does that, by the way, how does that armpit and shoulder feel compared with the other one? Before you start again, can you feel how much looser it feels? Hopefully. Good. And then the other one, so we're going round in big circles. Just holding that ball in place. So it's a really complex bunch of nerves that come all the way to your fingertips, that come through this brachial complex. So we're going to do 5 one direction, 5 the other direction. Good. So you can imagine if you're holding tension in all of these muscles and things, it's going to be really hard to take a good breath in. So it's going to be really hard to have your arms in the positions for hypopressives. Then we're going to bring our arm up on the inhale, shoulder up, I mean. And then feel the shoulder gliding down towards your pelvis and the muscles lengthening. And we're going to do about 5 here. We've got one more. Okay, then take out and see how they feel. Now you can take both balls if you've got 2 balls and do both at the same time now. So having a little shot doing both at the same time. If you've only got 1 ball, you just repeat it just a little bit shorter on one side and then the other side. I've got balls of different sizes for some reason because my kids keep making everything. So this will be interesting. So you can have them both underneath and then slowly start your rolling. And then go back the other way when you're ready. Just take a little bit longer if you've got the 2. This is going to fall out, it's too big. And then lifting them up and allowing them to glide down. And lifting them up and glide down on your exhale. And one more. Okay, that was like magic. So once you have finished, just take your time. We're going to come to lying down on your rolled up blanket or your rolled up mat, so you can have either. So I'll do a mat thing. I might do a thicker mat today. Last time it was a bit thin. So you can roll your mat up this way around, or you can have a foam roller if you've got a nice foam roller to do. And I'm going to show you the way that you're probably going to be doing it. So I might want more. I might want more. I might want a double mat. Anyway, I'm going to demonstrate this exercise to you. So a nice rolled up beach towel is quite good as well because you've got a little bit more density to it. So you're going to come to lying on your rolled up thing, whatever it is. Doesn't matter if it's not very high off the ground. It's just about getting a little bit of instability into your spine. So we're lying on our rolled up thing. We've got our feet side by side. And we're not going to be using our feet to move with. So the first thing we're going to do is make sure our feet are evenly weighted. And then we're going to take our hands up towards the ceiling, palms facing towards each other. I'll just let people get in place. It's fine. Just take your time. Yeah, you can use cushions, rolled up things, anything you want. Just try and get it so you can rock from side to side, Alexander, on this one. Alexandra, you want to be able to rock slightly from side to side. Yeah, that'll do for today. That'll do. Okay, so hands up towards the ceiling, palms face towards each other. The first thing we're going to do is reach one hand up, lifting our shoulder out of its socket, and then allow it to drop back in. And then we're going to lift the other one up, and then allow it to drop back down. And then lift the other one up, and drop back down. And then swap and lift it up again, and drop back down. And then we're going to lift both our hands up towards the ceiling and then drop down. And one more, lifting them up and dropping them back down. The next exercise that we're going to do is we're just going to have our hands on the floor just for support. And what we're going to do is we're going to slowly start to tilt our body over to one side. And we want to partially close our eyes for this, and we want to see what wants to roll first. So we're keeping our feet evenly weighted, they're not pushing. So as you roll over one side of whatever you're on, you might find that your pelvis wants to lead first, or your rib cage wants to lead first, or your shoulder wants to lead first as you slowly fall towards the floor. And then come back to the center. And go the other way as well. So you want to feel what wants to lead first. For me, it's definitely the pelvis that's rolling before everything else. And then you're going to come back to the center. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing, but I'd like you to try and make sure that your whole body rolls. So your pelvis, your rib cage, your shoulder, they all roll at the same time towards the side. So we're being mindful of what's going on. We're holding our spine almost in place. So our spine's moving as a neutral thing over one way. And then we're going to bring ourselves back to the center and go the other way again, maintaining that we're slowly drifting over to the side all at once with our torso. And then back to the center. Good. And it's a case of just feeling that the moment just before you fall and then coming back. Good. And just before you fall, so your knees aren't really falling over to the side. It's all about that spine staying neutral. So if our knees fall over to the side, then our spine is already going to start spiraling. So we want to make sure that our knees stay pointing up towards the ceiling almost, or just coming over with the rest of our torso as we keep our spine neutral. Yeah, that's it. Good. Yes, good. Just feeling. So what we're doing here is readjusting our autopilot to get our spine to move with the rest of our body and the rest of our body to move together simultaneously. And then we're going to come back to the start. Okay, so from here, we're going to learn a little thing with our arms, just so we've got it for in a moment. And it's also really nice for your shoulders here. So palms start facing up. As we inhale, we are going to roll our palms. We're going to roll our palms towards our head. So we're going to roll our thumb in towards the floor, and we're externally rotating our shoulders. It's a tiny movement, really. So it's as if you're trying to roll your arms up the way from your hands. And then
So
as you exhale, yes.
Your screen's gone blurred. I don't know if it's just me.
Ah! Oh man, it has here too. That's annoying, man. I don't know how to make it not do that. Hold on a second. I'm going to take it off that screen and then put it back on and see if that works. Right. Yeah, it's fine over here. This new microphone, this new screen thing has been. Is that better?
Yes, yes, that's great.
Cool.
Sorry for interrupting.
No, don't be daft. That's good. Tell me things like that. It's really important. So, still lying there. So as we inhale, I've got my hands in a bit of a better position so you can see as well. So as we inhale, we're going to roll our hands and roll our arms so that we're rolling up, so our palms are facing towards the ceiling, towards the back, our head kind of direction. Then as we exhale, we're going to roll our hands back down again until our palms are touching the floor. So we're inhaling, rolling, externally rotating, and then we're exhaling, rolling along the floor, internally rotating. So we're inhaling, externally rotating, exhaling, internally rotating. Inhaling, externally rotating. So palms are rolling this way, Claire. When you inhale, they're rolling up, and then as you exhale, they're rolling back down. Good. Okay. So once we've done that, we're going to come off our rolled up thing, but still in lying, still in supine. Okay, so now with our feet again evenly weighted on the floor, our hands by our sides, so in a kind of downwards V this time, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to tilt our head. So I'm going to tilt my head towards the left. So I'm turning my head towards the left. Then I'm going to tilt it up a bit as if I'm looking towards the left corner of the room. And I'm going to press the back of my head lightly into the floor. Or I'm pressing it so I can feel what's going on in my back and my body when I do it. So hopefully when you do this, you'll feel that perhaps your upper back and your shoulders and things, your lower mid back might lift off the floor, and you might feel a little bit of extra tension in your pelvis. And then you're going to slowly roll your head back to the starting position and let your back and shoulders relax. Then you're going to roll over to the left again, tilt your head a little, press your head lightly into the floor, or so that you can feel the tension working. And then you're going to roll back to the center again. We're going to do that one more time. We're going to roll over, tilt our head and press, and then release back to the center. Then as we do this, as we roll our head over to the side and tilt and press, we're also going to roll our arm up. So we're going to do our external rotation where we rolled our hand up the way. So our shoulder blade should feel like it's sliding in towards our spine. So we're starting with our palm facing towards the ceiling. We're rolling our head towards the left and pressing down. And as we do that, we're going to roll our palm so our thumb comes into the floor and our shoulder comes towards our spine. And then we're going to exhale, release them. And we're going to inhale, head over to the side, press it in, roll our hand up. Nice, good. And then exhale, roll it back to the start. One more time, we're going to inhale over to one side, press our head and roll our hand up and then bring it back to the start. We're going to repeat this on the other side. So this time I'm rolling my head to the right, I'm tilting it towards the right corner of the room, I'm pressing the right side of my head into the floor, and that's it to start with. So just the head to start with, and then back to the start. Then I'm rolling over to the side again, tilting it up and pressing the side of my head, or like in the back area of my head, into the floor, and then slowly rolling it back. We're going to do another two, rolling over to the side, tilting it and pressing it, and just being mindful of what you feel happening in your body, and then releasing it. So hopefully you're feeling a contraction as you press and a release as you come back. One more, coming over and pressing, and then coming back to the start. Then we're going to inhale with our head coming over and pressing as we roll our hand up again till our thumb comes towards the floor, our shoulder blade sliding into our spine, and then we're going to come back to the start. Good, we're going to do three like this. So roll our head over to the right, tilt it up, roll the right hand up and press in, and then come back to the start. And one more, rolling your head over, pressing, and rolling your hand up and then coming back to the start. Perfect. Then we're going to stretch our legs out along the mat. We're going to have our hands by our sides and we're just going to reassess how our body feels after those releases for the mid-back, for the neck, for the eyes, and for the jaw. And so you're going back through your assessment. So how does your head feel as a mass on the floor now? Does it feel better centered? Does it not change at all? How does your neck feel as a space? How are the backs of your shoulders and your lower back feeling as a mass? How's your lordosis feeling as a space? How's your pelvis feeling? How are your thighs feeling in connection to the floor, and your knees, your legs and your feet? Good. Then from here, now that we're nice and relaxed, we're going to dorsiflex our feet. Hands just by your side again. Lengthen through your spine. And we're going to do 3 nice slow breaths in an apnea, just in your own time. Really nice, deep, slow breathing. I'd like you to really feel the expansion of the ribs towards the side, hopefully feeling a little bit more expansion. Now you've released any tension underneath the armpits and into those muscles and nerves. So 3 nice slow breaths here. And then pause and slowly widen your ribs. We should have done an apnea at the start, actually, so you could feel the difference. And then when you're ready, you're going to bend your knees, dorsiflexing your feet, internally rotating your hands now. Just being mindful if it feels different than it normally feels when you come into internal rotation. Lightly feel like you can stretch those elbows out further because the armpits have been released. Lengthen your coccyx and away from you. Feel your head moving away from your coccyx. 3 nice slow breaths in an apnea. Here again, nice and slowly in your own time. Take your time with this. Pressing lightly out through your elbows. Feel like your inner thighs are smiling at each other. Three nice slow breaths here in your apnea. And then when you're ready, you're going to take your hands to your second position. 3 nice slow breaths in an apnea there. Just super slow, being mindful of how your body feels. Taking your time with your breathing. And then to your third position when you're ready. And again, just feel how that feels, because now, you know, when you bring your hands to your third position, you're more of an